Kia ora and welcome to another Pacifica Talanoa with Lorenzo Kaisara on Blue TV, the 1st of December 2021. Thank you so much for joining us and thank you for tuning in. Now, our topic for today is diabetes self-management education. Diabetes is a serious long-term condition that needs careful management, both by you and your healthcare team. Local doctors or Tamaki Healthcare offers a diabetes program with health coaches and self-management educators that can support you to get better and stay well. And we're now joined by Awhi Cannan, who is one of the graduating participants of the self-management diabetes education course, which is offered by the wellness support team, Tamaki Health. Kia ora, Awhi, welcome to the show. Awhi, can you please just, tell us a little bit about yourself before we kōrero and Talanoa about this amazing, diabetes self-management education course?
Kia ora, I'm Awhi. I'm 41 years old. I'm diabetic. I'm Maori. Because of my diabetes, I've got chronic kidney disease as well. But that's being managed as well. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, Awhi, for coming on the show. I know it is, it is quite hard for some people who have diabetes to come on a platform like this and share, their journey. Now, can you tell us about your journey with diabetes and where did it all begin for you, Awhi?
I was studying at Otago Polytech, and we had an event day, and they had a pop-up tent to see if people wanted to check if they had high blood sugars. So I had just finished lunch. I had a pie and 2 chocolate bars and a Coke, and I went to the tent to get my blood sugars checked, and it was 28.
Wow. And how did you end up, being a part of the peer-led self-management group, by wellness support team, Tamaki Health?
I was referred by my GP, and he's a big advocate for anyone with diabetes, and for his patients who want to look after their health. He will promote them to do anything. So I did the program once, and then I took a break, and then I came back eventually after a few months. And just recently I've done 6 of the programs.
Awhi, now you mentioned that you found out about your diabetes at an event. How did you feel? What went through your mind, when you were told that you have diabetes?
Shocked. I was sad. I'm the youngest one in my family, and my older siblings didn't have anything. It actually started off with my eyesight first, and then later on, just drinking excessive water. And I was only 19 at the time.
Okay.
So that was rather difficult, but I knew my parents both had diabetes. So I just kind of followed suit. Really.
Now you mentioned that you've done 6 sessions, of the diabetes self-management education course, and you've also been, journeying with your family doctor. So how has this peers led self-management group helped your journey with diabetes so far?
It's helped me to be accountable for my own actions, my own management of what I want to do, goals that I want to set, not anyone else. Being aware that it's my body, not anyone else's, and challenging the medical teams. If I have questions, it allows me to be open and communicate effectively with them about my health.
And what is the response? The response from the medical team, Have they been helpful, to you?
I find them really supportive.
Mm,
I'm rather fortunate to be given the opportunity to try new medications with the
mm,
advancement of medical technology.
mhm.
Um, as much as recently, I've been given a new medication that only got funded in September,
Wow.
and that's worked incredibly well for me.
Mm,
So,
mm,
yeah, I think all of my nurses and doctors have been greatly supportive. And if it wasn't for the self management group and giving me new ideas, then I probably wouldn't ask those questions that need to be asked.
mm. No, great. Thank you so much for sharing with us, Afi. Now, my next question is, with your whole experience, in your journey with diabetes, how did you find the experience? Has it changed you personally beyond your health journey? Example, your confidence, etc. And if so, how?
Um, it's a frustrating journey. It can be a lonely one, especially if your whānau aren't on the same page as you.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, about educating them
Mm,
as well as myself, whether or not they will listen
mm,
to you is another thing. Um, yeah, I do find it frustrating.
mm. And has
But
the has the lockdown helped you with your um, journey with diabetes, Afi?
no, it
Mm,
hasn't had any effect on me. Lockdown.
mm. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your experience with diabetes from a Maori perspective?
I'm just one Maori who has diabetes. That's number one. From a holistic point of view, I would think that our tahonga, our old priests, used to say that if you've got diabetes,
Hmm.
you're missing out on something sweet in your life.
Mm,
So you could be missing a fundamental element with your upbringing, and that takes a lot of soul searching.
mm,
So for me, that particular thing that I'm missing is building healthy relationships with anything.
mm,
And for me, I have a bad relationship with food.
mhm,
I have bad relationships with my parents, so the trust connection isn't there. Um, but also realizing what addiction to sugar is about. Um, Most people think of addiction as drugs and alcohol, when in fact, sugar is a substance. So, knowing the difference about your addiction to sugar
mhm.
is very educational if you enlighten yourself about why you're addicted to sugar in the first place.
Absolutely, I totally agree with with your statement. Sugar being an addiction because it's quite common on Pacific and Maori. That we have to have either 2 or 3 or maybe 4 teaspoons in our coffee, and how many cup of coffee that we have a day. I have about 2 or 3 a day, and you're absolutely correct there, Afi. Now, what do you think is unique would be good for others to understand from your experience?
Understanding that the medical teams have more resources than you think they have.
Hmm.
For example, my diabetes team has given me access to a diabetes psychologist
Hmm.
who I did 1 year with about, and we talked about food and past trauma growing up. Um, so when I was a kid, lollies weren't a thing.
Mm,
Um, when I was growing up, um, and then moving countries, where junk food was readily available. So that was a trauma for me,
Mm,
not having fresh food to junk food all the time. Um, and another thing is to challenge your health professionals. It's
mm,
about
mm,
your own personal care. You have the right to know what's going in your body, and to challenge all
mm,
your medical personnel. If you don't like it, don't accept it.
mm.
If you don't like your healthcare professional, don't have them as your healthcare professional.
I second that. I second that, Afi. Now, we hear that you've gone on to do other programs in Tamaki Health as well. What have this been, and have you found them useful to you?
Yes, I went on to do the chronic pain course,
Mm-hmm.
which I found really helpful, and the mindfulness one. Um,
Mm,
Especially the mindfulness one, we're not quite conscious of what we're eating. We don't take the time to smell what we eat, touch what we eat, know what it feels like.
mm,
Um, Even putting things on your tongue and just leaving it there, knowing what it feels like, knowing what it tastes like.
mm,
That, from the mindfulness perspective, is something that I really cherish.
mm.
Um, Yesterday, I got laughed at for smelling my mandarin. I just sat there smelling it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for me, it wasn't weird. It was like, yay, this is going to smell delicious,
Mm,
taste delicious. It's going to do me some good, especially for my kidneys.
mm, mm.
So,
Thanks. Thanks for that, Alfie. Now, you're now an advocate for diabetes self-management. You're going through that journey, and
mm,
yeah, no doubt that you are going to share your journey and your experience, with your whānau and members of our community that need your help. Now, what would you say to others who are going through the same, an experience similar to yours, Alfie?
give the program a go.
Mm,
If you don't like it,
mm,
you might pick up something that others have tried, so it might work for you.
mhm,
And if you don't like something, you don't have to try it. It's completely your choice.
mm. And my final question, Alfie, is before you, join the program. And after you've done 6 sessions, have you sort of like sacrificed some of the the healthy lifestyles or unhealthy lifestyles that you used to for example used to eat the food that you used to eat, and now have you sort of like made some changes to your diets and your healthy eating, Alfie?
Lots.
Mm.
I've reduced my coffee intake,
Mm.
um, seeing as you were talking about it before. I went from 8 cups of coffee a day down to two.
Wow.
Um, I don't have sugar in my coffee, I have sweetener. And I'm trying to wean myself off that as well, because
Mm.
I just don't feel it's necessary, but it tastes yucky. Um,
Now, can I just stop you there, please, Afi? How do you cope with that? Because mental health, mental well-being comes into that space of
yeah,
trying not to relapse or not to go back to 8 cups of coffee or, 4 teaspoons of sugar in your coffee. How do you cope? Because for sure, I feel tempted sometimes. Just put 3 or 4 sugars, in my cup of coffee. But how do you cope? Because I would love for our whānau and our viewers to hear your experience, including myself, Afi.
failure is the key to success.
Mm,
So when you're going through the program, we do these things called action plans.
mm,
So these smart goals that are achievable for you. And it's selected by you. It's something that you want to do, not
mm,
anyone else. If it's going to benefit you, then do it. Um, but we are encouraged to try the same goal at least for 2 weeks in a row.
Mm, mm.
And when you report back the next week, you say whether or not you succeeded with your action plan or you failed. And why did you fail? Or did you change your action plan?
I love that. Thank you so much. I love your honesty, and thank you for sharing your experience and your journey with diabetes on this platform. We wish you the best. Any final comments or final message for our viewers, Awhi?
The facilitators are underpaid and need to be paid more.
Thank you so much. Mai taki maata vinaka vakalevu, and I wish you all the best. And aroha to you and your whānau, Awhi. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you.
And that is the first part of our Pacific Talanoa with Lorenzo on Blue TV. Awhi Cannan, one of the participants of the Self-Management Diabetes course, which is offered by local doctors or Tamaki Health. If you wish to know more information, please contact them on 09274 7823 if you would like to register. Thank you so much. Me taki maata. Nistam pula vinaka. Vinaka vakaliv.